don't hang no signs about black people hating on immigrants, because black people ain't got no reason to hate on no immigrants.
Oh no, but the immigrants got
We
no reason to hate
everything y'all
on us.
are in there, son. Let me tell you something. You get them signs down. Anytime that Alderman Lawson and Silverstein and what's that other?
Cesar
They sit up
Lopez.
here and talk
Lopez.
about how they should get a hate crime bill because swastikas was in Ziploc bags in their community. They hung this in our community. We want it off the polls. We want that to be the beginning of a hate crime. And that organization, which is a white liberal organization, like in the words of Malcolm X, who told us what? That the white liberal is the worst enemy to the black man.
Yes.
And he is coming up in here acting like y'all representing some social justice.
Say that,
But all along,
Say
all
that.
you're doing is trying to use black people
Say
to
that.
find a reason to make some money.
Say
Let me
that.
tell y'all something over there. With done, the Democratic Party is done. You ain't gonna listen to us like
Y'all
this
gonna
no
abuse
more.
us.
So I'm telling you what I'm
They
telling
get to abuse the black
Trump
American.
gonna come in here and gonna clean it up. I'm telling you,
way.
the more righteous heart. You leave the Democratic Party. Do just like RFK Jr., just do like that Tulsa lady. You better get up out the Democratic Party. Save yourself, save your families, save your dignity, save your jobs, and save your seat. Because if y'all don't, we coming for your seats. We ain't taking this no more. We ain't taking no disrespect from a bunch of people who have broke into the country and now have completely broke the city, have completely broke the country, have completely disgraced the United States of America. America is a disgrace. And for us, oh my God, what a solution. You give us a fake, black, cackling hen of a candidate. With a vice president that's talking about he want to put tampons in the boys' bathroom. And the number one function of a president is to be the commander-in-chief. You tell me anything about a Kamala Harris that looked like she could protect this country after y'all just sat up here and let it get overridden with a bunch of
Even the immigrants.
Y'all just sat up here and put America's hands in all kind of wars. And you telling me a tampon man that ran from duty don't even know what his rule was. Kamala Harris, who don't know what race she is, gonna protect this country? The devil is a lie. Y'all better get your signs down. Yeah. I know that.
A lot of people going around saying, well, they're trying to replace black people with these immigrants. And these immigrants are coming in, they're being invited into the country and they're setting these people up. You know, I believe that's true, you know, but how many years have we been wasting time over here on things that are irrelevant? I mean, you have to take responsibility for that as well. You know, we're over here shooting and killing one another. You know, our people are very much into these idols that we have created. You know, these celebrities and these Beyoncés and these sexy reds and all of these people. You know, we've wasted a lot of time over here, you know, and we've created a culture that is detrimental to ourselves and therefore our future. We've shown ourselves to be irrelevant. And so when you see a people who are in this state of morality, you look at these people as irrelevant. And so sooner or later, someone's going to try their best to try to replace a people like that, you know, and that's just it. Now, I'm not saying that our people shouldn't stand up and speak against it, because a whole lot of us are. But at the same time, you're going to have to understand your part in this development. You're going to have to understand. You're just going to have to come to understand that we helped create what's going on right now because we have shown ourselves not to be productive. This is a follow-up on my previous video, the urgency of the times. Now, the videos that I put before this one explained what my previous video was talking about. See, what a lot of us don't understand is that you're going to have to understand what political science is all about. We're dealing with science, and we're dealing with the political principles. You know, science, the definition of science, it's the organizing knowledge of nature, and it's gained by experimenting and observation. Now, when you take that concept and you utilize it within the society, the social arena, like the politicians do, like they teach these young people in college, because I sit and I talk to young people all the time in terms of what they're taking up in college, because I live right next door to UNLV out here. And ever since the early 90s, I've come in contact with a whole lot of teachers and professors, and of course I can't mention their names, but I've become very good associates with them. And so I know, and by my having their, you might as well say like intellectual confidence, I was given the opportunity to freely sit inside of a whole lot of political science classes as well as biological classes. And what a whole lot of these college professors have come up with is a design that is based upon social studies, social engineering, and biology. And they mix these together, sometimes not in terms of just one class, but these different combinations of classes produce a concept inside of the student to where they actually cultivate these students to be phenomenal and yet corrupted politicians. Because all of these different forces of curriculum create a specific outlook towards society. Now, when it comes to science, as I said, it is the organizing knowledge of nature, and it's gained by experimenting and observation. See, what's going on today in our community, there's been a huge experiment going on in our community that we've willingly given into. And this has been going on since, you might as well say like the 1930s. And as I said before, going into the early 70s, after a whole lot of our leaders were assassinated, Some of them was deported. Some of them became westernized and therefore civilized according to what pleases this government system. I mean, I even know some brothers who I come up with in Chicago who were big time gang members, and yet the way that they controlled them, instead of sending them to prison, even though they threatened to send them to prison, they offered them an education. And they put these guys in city halls to look over and still pretty much control different segments of the community from their chairs in City Hall. So they may not be out there gang banging or killing people, but they do have a whole lot of people out there doing their bidding in terms of keeping the environment not exactly the way that it is, that it was when they were out there in the street, but very closely and very similar. So even though they're not out there in the street controlling things, they're now sitting behind a desk controlling things from City Hall by way of the corrupted education that they receive from this government system through these colleges. I bring all of this up is because what's going on right now in terms of this immigration, and why did it start happening now? Why are they making it so attractive and easy for these immigrants to come over here to easily settle in? I mean, if you go anywhere and someone gives you $15,000 for food and $5,000 a month, it's going to be very easy and convenient for you to settle in any territory, any city, any environment you can practically choose. And this administration has provided that for these immigrants. They've provided that. Now, putting up signs throughout Chicago where this government and City Hall has a high ratio of crime and violence. So this huge wave of immigrants suddenly come in, and this information of what they are obtaining from the city as well from the government is leaked out. This information is purposely leaked out so that the general public can know of these things. And so they put signs up that black people are hating on immigrants. And that is to cause strife in between the immigrants and black people, that the crime rate may increase, so that when these crimes break out due to the fact that the black people are provoked and yet not protected by the system, a whole lot of black people are either going to be killed or incarcerated. And the immigrants are going to be free to roam and pretty much do whatever the hell they want. And in the process of the population of black people decreasing, the immigrants are going to move into these communities at a massive increase, and therefore a lot of black people are going to be, quote unquote, replaced. But then you have to look at it. How did we become so expendable? What did we do to ourselves to be looked upon as diseases, undesirables? What have we done? Just look around you. We've made ourselves expendable. We've made ourselves undesirable. And we've made ourselves a menace to this society. And we put ourselves in the position to where even if they outwardly said that we intend on replacing the black community with this influx of immigrants, who's going to care? Who's going to care? That's how low in the state of morality we have become. We have made ourselves, as the Bible used to call, lepers, undesirables. I spent some time over in India many years ago, talking about like between 2007 and 2009. And over in India, the East Indians who had African in their blood, of course, came out as darker. The lighter skinned Indians who mixed their blood with the Arabs and the British, they called the dark skinned Indians Dalits, D-E-L-I-T, Dalits, which translate in harmony with the lepers of the Bible. You know, the people who had leprosy, which was a very contagious disease. So they called them Dalits. And the primary reason why they were called Dalits is because they compared these people to the lepers in the Bible. Stay away from them because, you know, what they have is contagious. And if you get too close to these people, then you're gonna get sick, or you're gonna be as they are. Over in India, there is an encouragement / you might as well say like common policy is to keep the lighter skinned Indians separate from the darker skinned Indians in terms of relationships and things like that. And the East Indians, okay, they have a very strong record of racism on it. And believe me, I know. And so the majority of the times, they really don't want, quote unquote, their people to mix in with any races that are considered darker and therefore lepers or therefore undesirable. These Dalits are considered or titled over there in East India as untouchables. They call them the untouchables. Don't touch them. In other words, don't breed with them. Don't make any children with them, because your family is going to come out dark like them, and therefore your family legacy and tree is going to be contaminated. I'm bringing all of this up is because over here in America, when it comes to our community, the culture that has been cultivated is equivalent to that. It's become a disease. And it's become a disease because it's become a disgrace in comparison to all of the work that our elders put in order to bring about dignity and self-respect to our community. I said years ago, back in the 80s, and a whole lot of people got angry, which I didn't care. I was telling them that this hip hop music is going to be the moral demise to the black community. The hip hop community, as you all know, started out very political, and it was dealing with a whole lot of issues in the community. And then it became perverted. It became perverted. You had people like Uncle Luke, so-called Uncle Luke, coming in with the 2 Live Crew with their freedom of speech and expression, and they added strippers to it, and Okay? It went downhill after that. You had people like 357, and after 357, you had, I might be skipping over a few, but after 357, you had people like Little Kim, Foxy Brown, Trina, you know, and these Nicki Minaj's, and now you have what is, I mean, they really scraped the bottom of the gutter. Now we have this so-called sexy red creature that is running around here, that is putting forth this image of black women. And despite of how difficult black women have become, they are definitely not sexy red. Sexy red does not represent black women in our community. However, she's being strongly propagated, and a whole lot of her ideas are not being non-supported by her characters. Any perverted, crazy idea that she comes up with is pushed into our community. All of these different lip glosses with the titles of STDs, this is being pushed. In every video, you see that ratchet in. She's holding up these big balls of money. And you even see them little ignorant brothers, those idiots, standing behind her doing their little thing. And you wonder why the black community has become so undesirable everywhere. And they take this personality overseas. You've seen our women go to other areas of the globe, including Africa, and you see how they show out. And some of them come up missing. They get angry at the passport bros. However, the black woman over here in America, her dysfunction brought about. She manifested the passport bros. And she's even tried that same concept. However, the way she is today, nobody wants you. There's no place you can go. You can't go to Africa. You can't go to Asia. You can't go to the Hispanic community. And black men over here don't want you because of the depth of your degeneracy. And you've passed that down to our babies. And yet still, a whole lot of people in our community just don't see any dysfunction in what's happening with us this day. And that's a huge problem. I'm telling those who are not on this level, prepare yourself, because there's some dark times coming. There's some very, very dark times coming. And if you want to survive them, you keep your self-respect, you keep your dignity, and you keep your children away from the evil conformities that are put inside of this environment, like these sexy reds and these other defiling agencies that are injected in our community. And the people that are behind them promoting this. And you just can't say it's the white community. It's our community as well. It's all about money. They've sold their souls and they put these people out in society so that you may compromise yours. That's what it's all about. It's all about compromise. Are you going to compromise your moral standards? Are you going to protect your children? Are you going to, as a teacher, continue to speak up? And black men, let me explain something to you. Why is it that during these times, our black women are the only ones that are really standing up, speaking strongly against the opposition like that sister was. You standing there, yeah, say that, interrupting her. Don't interrupt the sister when she's expressing herself, because the opposition needs to hear every single word that she's saying. And then you have this elder down there. Looks like he's 71 or 72 years old. Be quiet, bro. You had your chance. You had your chance to speak up. Don't speak over this sister. If you're not gonna stand up, black man, you don't deserve respect. If you're looking for our women to always speak up for us, don't be surprised when this black woman no longer respects you as a human being and as a man. It's like Brother Malcolm has said, until the black man stands up, then that black woman is going to be the most unprotected woman. Women like her, not these ratchets. But that sister who spoke up at that meeting, oh, you better believe she deserves protection. All the rest of these ratchets, they don't deserve protection. And I'm just gonna flat out say it. Leave it to me, I think they all should be eliminated. Get rid of them. Because they are stabbing at our children. They are stabbing at our children. And when it comes to these babies, what these black women are doing today, this modern day black women, by filtering this filth down to our children and displaying it to the world, they're telling the world, we got some more for you. Because we raising our children to be just as degenerate and filthy as us. These black women today are contaminating our babies and telling the world, we got some more for you. We got some more for you for the next 20 to 30 to 50 years. So which one is going to stand up and speak against this? Is it just going to be the black woman? Black man, when are you going to start standing up? Instead of and speaking against these things, instead of standing behind black women. Yeah, sister, speak. What about you? What about you? I thought the black man was God. Now you gave that title to the black woman. The black woman is God. So now the black man ain't God no more. So it takes the black woman to fight for the kingdom of heaven. What are you going to do? You're just going to continue to stand on the sidelines and let our brave sisters, the ones who really care about the direction this community is going in, like that sister, and also that teacher that Sexy Red told to shut the fuck up. How come Sexy Red is just able to say that with confidence? Why is she so protected? We've got some dark times coming. Some dark times coming. And until y'all wake up and understand what's getting ready to happen by way of your sister, Kamala Harris, the one that you're getting ready to make president, you haven't seen no dark times. You wait until you put her in office the same way you black women put Biden in office. You haven't seen no dark times. Now go ahead. Oh, he's sitting up here with this black hood on his head. I don't give a damn what I'm wearing. I just came out of meditation and I don't have to explain anything to you. The same as Damon Dash doesn't have to explain anything to you in terms of his teeth. And that's another thing. We're going to have to end all of this mocking and making fun of people. Oh, yeah, his teeth fell out. Oh, look at Damon Dash. Yeah, you making videos about one of your own simply because his dentures fell out? Grow up. It's much more things that are more important to be sitting up talking about. We don't have no time to be mocking and making fun of one another. It's time to grow up. As the word says, when I was a child, I thought as a child and I spoke as a child. But when I became through time a man, I put away childish things. How about doing that? How about doing that? It's time. And if you don't realize it's time, there's some times coming that's going to leave you no choice but to accept that it's time. And with that being said, I'm going to leave you with this. And one of the reasons why I made this video is because in spite of how the Black community have treated me all of my life, in spite of how I see us destroying ourselves, I want to express my deep love and concern for us, because if we don't have love for ourselves, no one else will. And if we don't have love for ourselves on an individual basis, we won't be able to express it to one another. Let's get back to the village, because if there's any time for the village and its principles, it is now.